Okay, I am live. Hi, I think I've been live for says 25 seconds, so I was just sitting here looking. Okay, so welcome to the live stream today. I'm gonna let a few people come in. Hopefully someone will come in soon. I had like a concept when I decided to schedule this to test that system out, the scheduling system. And so, you have to put a title in there. And so I had a title because that was what was on my mind a few days ago. But, it's not necessarily like, oh, I have a topic. So I am starting to talk. I was talking about self-centeredness was kind of like a focus. It's just been really on my mind about how self-centered the world is. All of us, every one of us, every single one of us. If you're looking at the reason why everyone doesn't want to have kids, and you see the outliers saying like the world and this and that, like but most of the things that you're actually seeing in pop culture and the popular media that you're seeing say that they don't want kids. They talk, it's like the convenience thing, and they talk like Seth Rogen with his whole like, oh, we're so happy that we don't have kids and look at what we can do all day. And who else did that? Chelsea Handler. It's like, oh my gosh, like your life looks really pathetic. Like, what are you showing for yourself? That you made movies about like what? Like getting someone knocked up? Like literally, what are you doing for the world? But you think it's so great, and you're promoting not having children. It's for the best. Don't have children, Seth Rogen. It's for the best. Okay. But these sort of things have been really frustrating me. I have a series that I've been doing. It feels like everyone is watching the series. Well, and I mean everyone, not everyone, but like everyone who is watching the series, who's decided that they wanted to try watching the series. It's not going to be for everyone. It seems like they're individualizing it, and I was trying to do something very theoretical, conceptual, building a theory out. It's not really like, oh, this is right, this is wrong, this is a theory, and other people are meant to have their theories say, oh, I see, patterns here, and then I also notice this pattern, because the competency crisis is a huge issue, and I think it's selfish not to look at all the places and try to figure out how to fix it in some way. And I do believe that technology is one of the areas that we're making it so user friendly. And I've said it a lot of times in my videos. If you watch any of the series, I don't mind user friendliness, but we have to replace what is lost from having the friction in these areas. So when we make life easier, more accessible to people, we also have to train these people how to keep the advanced reasoning logic, because putting your hand on a stove, saying it's hot, and moving it, that's like instinctual. That's not really a cause and effect. You might think later, maybe I shouldn't do that. So then it's like self-preservation, cause and effect, but that's still cause and effect at its most animalistic, selfish nature, not cause and effect, putting the world and society first, saying, you know what, I mean, I talked a lot about millennials. I wasn't meaning millennials specific. It was meaning the millennial culture that we're seeing, because as you could see, boomers really skipped over Gen X. Gen X didn't get a lot in the media ever, and then it went straight into like from adult marketing to kid marketing. So the Gen X generation was just skipped over in the media. They make jokes about how they're the invisible generation. I mean, this is why. So when I skipped them in the context of the series, it was really specifically because of the wider range of like, this is what the media and what we're seeing, like the adults in the room are the parents, and the people seeing the adults in the room are the kids that we're supposed to be protecting. Parents really were offended by my parent episode, and they all were like really taking it personal. Like, I'm glad that you care about your children. This is about parenting as a whole. This is about the trends that we're seeing online that people are talking about. This isn't about the anomalies or the individuals. It's sort of like the hippie counterculture. You can't discount the fact that there's a major counterculture. My mother never so much as smoked a cigarette in her life, but it didn't mean that she wasn't alive and right there in the youth at the hippie revolution, right? So she wasn't a hippie. She didn't fit that group, but it doesn't mean that it's not valid to see why this large group of counterculture existed. And I don't understand why people were really taking, and then they would say things like, it's more about the individual. I could do a psychology thing about individualism, but this is about a collective media whole. So it's a different type of series and it's not for everybody. But I think it's like not for anybody online, because everyone that comes in seems to be taking it super personal rather than saying, oh, I've seen this. Actually, not everyone. That's not fair. I'm being extreme. I was just really frustrated with the response. All the responses would say, oh, this is that. And they would actually repeat everything that I was saying as valid things, but then explain to me why it's not true for everyone. And I'm over here like, yeah, I know. This is an overall mass theory about a concept that I believe cause and effect is happening, and I'm explaining a cause and effect issue of our lack of, our addition of user-friendly with our technology systems, and how it actually is making us less efficient, less smart, less intelligent, less able to problem solve. Anyway, if you want to see that series, it's up there, but that's what was triggering this title, and I feel like that's all I was going to say. I mean, I can go into, not that I had a whole thing, but I constantly do studies on self-centeredness, because I believe it is the crux of every issue that we have in modern day. People just being so full of themselves, and it's me too. And that's the thing, we are so egotistical, and everything in our society is pushing us to be more it's like you have to actively fight the ego. You have to fight the me, this is about me, you're talking about me, I see it. It's like, no, like this, like theories are meant to explore and then add your own theories and do like this is a concept. This isn't like necessarily right or wrong, but it's also not to be fully disproven or not. It's to be explored further. This is an introduction to something that I am studying deeply and going into, because I want to have answers with how I deal with my children, how I deal with my nephews, how I deal with all of this. And yes, I do plan on having children. So someone saying that, oh, you're clearly not a parent, that's kind of like a low blow. There were medical reasons I didn't get to do that, and there are many people who would love to have children. Does that mean like they can't comment on the pop culture, like mass, like youth of America that we are as adults showing them this is the life, this is how to be? We are training them and teaching them, and I have no say in being able to observe the behavior of the population because I have not yet birthed a child. So no one who has not yet birthed a child has no ability to observe the mass behavior of the community. Like, I don't, like, that's silly. Anyway, so I guess that was what this title was about, and I'm done. So that was 8 minutes of my intro. Bam! I feel like, I didn't write anything for this. There's a whole thing about self-centeredness being the source of all grief that I was going to go into about, that's what I was starting to go into about how I do all these studies. But I'm not even going to go into it. But there is, like, you can even Google it. There's a study out there about self-centeredness as the source of all grief. And that was where I started to think about this several years ago. It's actually a Christian study. It's Andrew Womack. It's useful, though, if you just even go to Proverbs. Basically, Proverbs, Christian or not, just like read it as a life lesson book, like just to get ideas of how to live life. When I started reading Proverbs and actually living Proverbs, my life got better, like dramatically better by following, because it's Proverbs is a lot of human natural wisdom, right? It's the king. He asked for wisdom. He asked for wisdom to be able to guide his community, his kingdom the best, and so God gave him the most wisdom. He was the wisest, most abundant king in history, right? So that is where Proverbs came from. Most of them comes from these just natural things of how to live life, natural ways to live life, natural just there are ways that seem right to men, but the path thereof leads to death. Things that are saying, the road to hell is paved with good intention, meaning like good intentions only get you so far. If the end result is complete disaster, we have to look at all of the aspects, right? So I really find that a really great book in general for life lessons. If even whether you're Christian or not, it's just very practical, and I use it practically. And one of the aspects of it is only by pride cometh contention. So whether or not you agree with spiritual stuff or anything, that's just a very simple thing that says that the only way that you get contention, which if you look later, contention is the beginning of strife. Strife goes into grief. So if you find all this context, it's basically saying, you know, self-centeredness, this pride, this ego is the source of all this grief in the world, and you can look it back. So anyway, and it connects with everything. Anyway, so that is what that was about. And so I said 8 minutes, now it's been 10 minutes. That's how I roll. But now I see people are in the chat and you've been here for a while. Thank you for listening to my 8-minute warm up. And now we're just going to do the rest of the time like a chat, whatever you guys want to talk about. So let's go say hi. Best one, the Cinder Ace 229. Hi. Thank you for showing up. I actually saw you in the corner of my eye while I was trying to finish this. So you came in like right at the beginning. I'm very grateful for you. Dr. M69, welcome back. Welcome back. Chris Moore, these are my regulars. Welcome back. Hi. Chris Moore 9997. I did not say your whole name. And Chris says, I never liked that handler woman. I think a lot of people did not. I think there's a lot of people in Hollywood, I'm not sure who ever liked them fully. They just like were seen. I think a lot of things that we're just fed and then you just sort of accepted, and then you look back later and you're like, oh, never really liked that. that was weird. So yeah, we do accept a lot. And a lot of it is based on convenience, or just like it's there, or say there's some salacious thing in it. I have that issue that I do want to work on. Gossip or true crime, or those body cams, the cop cams, the dash cams, those things, like they're not, you know, great things for me to watch, but you know, I think being aware, it's not about not being able to have like your own weird things that you want to do, like your own self-indulgent moments. It's more about being aware that that's what you're doing in that moment and not making it like unintentional. Like right now I'm going to intentionally spend time on me. Okay, right now I'm going to intentionally focus on someone else. And in this conversation, I'm going to actually try to focus on other people. It's hard for me. I don't know. I'm sure it's hard for other people. It seems to be hard for other people based on the way that I interact with them. And it doesn't feel like we ever understand each other. So I have to imagine this is a self-centeredness issue all around, mine included. I don't ever take myself just out of these thought processes. I'm only in my own brain. So yeah, you can tell me something about how your brain is processing, but the only brain that I'm actually like psychologically able to look into at some level is what's happening in my own. I can see my intentions. I can see like, I meant for this, but then I actually kind of let my ego get in the way, you know, like I can see that. And so that's why I bring my own stories into it to try to relate in that way to a larger picture. But I'm really trying to do most of my videos, just so you know, as more of a big picture thing. If you do not fit into the group, then you're not the group I'm talking about. It's the fact that Chads exist. So sometimes you're going to talk to a Chad. Sometimes you're going to talk to the group of Karens. Sometimes you're going to talk to your social justice warriors before they turn into their, you know, swamp hags. You know, you're going to have these groups that we all agree that we put into these areas, right? And that's what my videos are as well. It's caricatures to discuss larger patterns of behavior, more extreme patterns of behavior. So just for the record, that's kind of how I think, but clearly it's not how everyone else is thinking, and everyone's gonna take videos in how they take them, but that is just how I make them. So anyway, welcome to Gold. Oh my gosh! Best one, the Cinder Ace. You are awesome. I am actually trying to do more, all of these videos that I do and I finish, I post on the membership early. So this is for Best One, the Cinder Ace. She became a member, and welcome. I just really appreciate the membership. Is really just supporting this channel. I will need to get new equipment one day. I definitely need a mic. I need those things, but I just don't have the resources out here to do them. So the membership is just supporting that. Everyone, you know, will save up money and we'll make this better, right? That is what it is at this point, but I do want to give you guys certain things. So yes, I am putting little shorts in there that I'm going to try to do. I haven't had a whole lot of time, but I'm going to do more personal stuff, more personal lives, more even Bible study, different lives, like for personal groups of like whatever the members like really want to be discussing. So I'm going to be doing more of that to develop more community that feels safer for everyone, to delve into a few some different types of water. So that is kind of the area, but I will still obviously be doing all my lives, but I also try to do early access. So tell me what you would like to see with the membership, but mainly I really wanted to create a safe space and also an ability to, you know, maybe afford this a new camera and a microphone. I know that you can hear my fan in my setup. Like my computer fan is, the laptop fan is the one that's being used right now. And I know you can hear it, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm honestly, I've never actually checked where my mic is on this. I think it's like further up over there, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I don't know how. I could literally look at every comment and go for 5 minutes on every comment. I've learned this about myself recently. Who knew? Who knew? Okay. Hi. Theody? Theody. Oh, man. Theody. That's going to bother me for a while. But yes, hi. Good evening. Where are you? Right now it's 1:17 where I am. I am in Texas, so I'm in Central Time. So Theody says good evening. So I'm imagining you are in somewhere where it's evening, which is always exciting to reach out to people across the world. I grew up in Venezuela, so, you know, having international friendships that we've kept going, I talk to people around the world a lot, and even like coming to the US, like talking back to people in Venezuela, it's different. So it's just interesting to see the time trend, and I don't understand why people, you and me both, friend, story of my life. Yeah. I have to figure out the best way to read your chats, and let me actually go to OBS real quick. Can I see the chat in here? I feel like I could at one point. Oh, you know what? It's like I am live here, but I didn't press go live in my OBS, and I'm wondering if that's why I can't see my live chat. Darn it. But I don't want to press go live now. Do you think it will mess it up? I don't want to mess it up. Okay, guys, next week I'm going to have my live chat up, and then I can highlight your chats. I'm pretty sure I should have had that. Like, the things we're ready with. Like, okay, so, yeah. So right now we're just going to have to, I'm going to have to read your chat message and then respond to it. In the future, I'm just going to, like, click it and we'll put it on the screen. So these are the things I'm going to work on. Okay, so speak freely about anything that's bothering you. Well, thank you, best one, these Cinder A's. I was really frustrated this week. I don't know if like a hormonal thing. I'm really not sure. It's like mid-month, but I really was. You know, okay, there's some family stuff happening. I guess it's funny because you think like, oh, I must have just been emotional. Well, actually, you know, I had some serious family things going on this week, so I guess I was a little on edge. It's interesting how I didn't even think about that. So yeah, I've had some medical stuff going on with a family member, my sister, and yeah, so I would say maybe that's why I'm a little more feeling feisty, on edge. I mean, I could like get emotional, crying, like, so it's interesting because you can compartmentalize, but then I was like, why am I so edgy this week? It's because I've had some family issues. So I'm sorry if you're noticing edge on things. I'm just you know, I can't even look at my phone right now because there's all these messages, but I'm in a prayer group, and let me get, I feel like I'm getting, like, emotional, but, you know, I'm in a prayer group, and we get a lot of prayer requests every day, you know, and there's this one that one of our members, we've been praying, and so this is not about my sister specifically, but it's something I'm dealing with like um, every day. We're doing prayer requests, and this week, it's really gotten to me, and I think it's a good thing. What's getting to me, like I'm getting, I feel excited, but there's a little boy who was diagnosed with cancer at 3 years old, and we've been praying with him. He is now 8 years old, and he had a tumor that broke his leg recently, and he hasn't been able to walk for 2 months. He's had pneumonia for a month. It's like it just keeps coming, and he's been in pain and not eating. And the other day, his grandmother called me, and was just, like sometimes it's hard to stand. Like we have to stand for our family. Like we have to believe. And so she called me, and so we prayed. And then earlier today, I got a message saying that her son had texted her and said that for the first time since his leg was broken because of the tumor, and then the tumor had to be removed, his leg hasn't had any pain. He actually said that he didn't have any pain in his leg, and he was eating again because he hadn't been eating due to the pneumonia. So we're seeing this, and the fact that every time something comes, there was another spot, and he's lost one of his lungs, has been removed. He has one lung left. This is an 8-year-old boy. So these are the things that I'm sitting after the work, and so I apologize if in the moment that I'm reading a message or a comment I get a little feisty, because I'm in these moments. This is what I'm doing in my time. I'm constantly doing these calls, and that's actually my desire in life, is to be able to spend more time doing that, because we need support. Because I've been in situations where, I've had my sister when my nephew, he's 2 now, bless God, he was premature at 2 months, and he was in the NICU, and for about 2 months, and my sister almost didn't make it through the birth, and neither did he. And there was a lot of days where she couldn't speak. She couldn't, like, we'd ask a question, and she couldn't answer, and then we'd ask another question, and then this other question that she couldn't answer a few minutes ago, she would answer. She couldn't walk. Like, it was very scary. And we weren't sure if there would be permanent damage. It was a preeclampsia issue, if anyone knows about it. Anyway, but we prayed about it, and I constantly, I stood in faith, but while I'm praying, I was crying. Like, like, I don't care what it looks like. Like, I don't care if I look like I'm not in faith. I'm in faith. I believe in you, God. I'm just emotional because it's my sister. And through that, we have the people in our group that we call. We need those people at these times. My sister pulled through. God did get her through. It was miraculous. Everything the doctors kept saying, like, this is going to happen. This is all these horrible worst case scenarios. It was always the, like, well, if everything were just magical and, the best case scenario, like, all of the stuff that ended up happening was the best case scenario. Even stuff that was, like, medically very rare to be the issue turned out to be the issue. Miraculously, the least of the problems. These are the things that I don't believe was just natural. I believe that's supernatural. Whether or not you do or not, I needed support at that time, and so I want to be that support for other people. And in the comments, I feel like I have not been I've just been more stern. It's like I'm not feeling grace and mercy for people right now, and I think that's something I have to work on. But that's just what's happening. There's a lot of things going on that I'm probably gonna need support on. So I appreciate you guys giving me support on it, but also dealing, like, knowing that every person is gonna be going through this stuff. So the people that I'm snapping at in the comments, they could be going through their stuff too, like, and I need to understand that as well. So, like, that's a big part of this self-centeredness thing, why it's important to me, because I did spend time. I was going to cancel this stream today, but then I thought, people had been asking about it, and then I thought, like, I scheduled it, like, this is something that I said that I wanted to do, and I wanted to think about other people and not just about me being emotional. So anyway, I did end up obviously coming on, but if you do see me kind of get like weird or about to cry, those things, like, it's like this, I'm in a weird moment right now. So I'm just emotionally, I'm feeling very good that the little boy Christian is doing better, and I believe he's healed by the stripes of Jesus. And I believe that, so is my sister, and I believe that everything that's going on is just, the evil that's trying to get us. Just like when the evil tries to tell us to be mean to people because they don't understand us or we don't understand them. Something I want to fix in myself that I can't do as a human. I have to go to a higher power to do it. It's beyond my nature. It's beyond human nature for us to get out of selfishness on our own naturally. We have to actually use mentors and communities, and whether it's religion, whatever your reason, your motivation is, we have to get out of ourselves and make intense with every interaction. And I guess that's my point. It's every interaction. When people are putting up videos, they're really, whether or not, maybe they aren't working hard, but I'm trying to think about, people are putting effort into this, some type of effort. They're trying something, they're doing something for a reason, and I want to be more maybe thoughtful of that. It's a reason why I also don't show other people's clips, because I say things weird and I say things wrong often. I have ideas that I think are good, but how I speak them isn't always right, and even some of my ideas aren't always right. And so, like, I put my stuff out here and I get comments, and it is hard to deal with sometimes, especially when you're having, like, a bad week, a bad month, rough year. It's been a rough year, guys. It's been a pretty rough year. But I think it's important to try to give mercy to even the creators that are doing the things that I'm complaining about. I think because they're doing something, and people who comment on their stuff directly is going to affect their day. If they're having a good day, you could make it worse or better in like a second. And I think I put my stuff out here, and I know that, and it's stuff that you learn and you grow and you get stronger about, but it's also, I'm aware that I'm working to be stronger about those things, and I'm a pretty tough person in those sense. I actually get very emotional easily, but it like doesn't really deter me mentally. If you see any of my series, you kind of see that. So yeah, I just kind of also, when you're giving comments, not to me, but like to people, even these people that, if I decide to put on someone else's video or someone else's comment, because I will have a video coming on that I've been debating. It's episode 9 of the series, but it's a comment episode. So it's going through all of your comments, what you agree with, what you disagree with, and I was going to showcase the comments, and I questioned whether I should showcase some of the comments that I'm going to rip apart. And I'm going to, because they commented on my video. So, I've been debating about this, and I am going to do it, and it's not going to be pretty for some of them, as far as what I believe and how I respond in my mind to it. And these are people, mostly women, who I deal with a lot in comments, who irritate me a lot in comments, and I have a lot less patience for them when I'm having my days, my weeks, my years. So I did kind of want to throw that out there. I don't know, I'm still on the fence, but I think that's what I'm going to do, is actually put them on Front Street. And I would ask that people don't, and I'll ask in the video that people don't, like, attack these people. So that's where I'm questioning, you know what I mean? But, like, they're in the comments, so you could go to my comments and see them anyways. But at some point they could delete their comments, and then their stuff would still be in my videos, so maybe I can give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, if they want to delete their comment, then no one can find. I don't know. I have to think about that. Anyway. Okay. Let's see. Chris Moore 9997 says you get to talk about it in principle. I have two daughters still living at home, and they are different from one another like night and day. There's a lot of personality that comes from genetics. Um, and then he continues, that is based on observations of parent and what I've seen from others. Sure. I mean, I don't do parenting videos. I don't personally like care about the psychology of like parents in the research sense as far as sharing that. I don't have like education to add to that system. I just comment on the parenting trends that I see as a whole, and I'm commenting on the trends that you're seeing as a whole. I'm not commenting on individuals similar to this. These are trends. So even like the people that comment these comments that I'm talking about, they're patterns of comments that I constantly see. You know, these people talking about every parent is doing their best. Absolutely not. That is absolutely not true. And saying that is a horrible thing to say. Not every parent is trying their best. Many are. But you saying that completely like discounts everything you're about to say now. Like that is like a trope. Like that is not true. There is a lot of damaging parenting out there, and parents who do not care. So to say, you know, so I'm not even talking about neglectful parents that just don't care, or abusive parents. So, you know, for a person to say everyone's just trying their best as a parent, to something that I was talking about, the media parenting, like I was in the group because I'm the adult media at the time that's parenting our children, because that's how it works, you know. And then to, you know, like I just felt like that was just, it was very low IQ, and I was not pleased with that comment. Oh well. Anyway, also you might notice in my videos, or even in this, I do this. It's when I'm having when I'm in pain, I tend to do this. So it happens more for longer periods of time, sitting. I like, then I start like having to do this because like my core is just not used to sitting. It's probably like I could get some sort of ergonomic chair or something, but just this couch and this position, how it is. So just like, if you notice this happens a lot, it's like my core is in pain. Like I need to move around. Anyway. Okay. Theody, I think is right. Here in the UK. Okay, so universities and other education systems are the ones teaching our young. I'm Gen Z and never did uni. To become bitter and angry people, it's sad, really. It is, you know, I absolutely agree. And it's interesting to hear the UK. I've been to the UK. I did a summer abroad, like for a little semester in Cambridge when I was in high school. It was like a weird like summer, like I don't know, I was a sophomore. Anyway, so that's the only time I've ever been. I was in Cambridge for the summer, and so I don't recall, because I was a sophomore in high school, I don't recall a whole lot about it, and I'm sure it was different in different places. So you can let me know where you are in the UK. I know it's a large place. I specifically went to Cambridge, and I have been to, I went to London for a show. You know, we traveled a few different places. We went to a Broadway show in London. Anyway, but yeah, so I went to university, and I ended up leaving. But I know in the U.S. when I went, even when I graduated high school at like 2002, so this the years, just so you can understand my age range. And I remember I came out of, I didn't really have any political viewpoints or any, you know, I mean, I was going into college, so I was being educated, and I came out as a liberal. I can look at myself and see that I was clearly indoctrinated in college. And I went to a college that I don't think is as bad as some of them. I just went to UT Austin. But I definitely had, and it was certain teachers and certain that I can look now and see, like, because I would come out of school and I would argue, like me and my dad would have actual arguments that I'm thinking now, like, you know, I wish he was still alive, because I completely agree with him now. But it's interesting. I actually took me a few years to kind of, but I was never full liberal, because I don't know. I never like, went to sororities or did all of that stuff, so I guess I've always been a bit of an outsider, kind of doing my own thing. But I did notice that it seems like people think educating someone is showing them all the bad things and creating all these problems and these enemies and these blame things. It's like that's kind of what education is. And they also are presenting theories. I learned about global warming. No, I learned about global cooling. I'm not even sure what they called it. What is it? Climate change? We were going, when I was in elementary school, I did classes. I had to like draw images of the woolly mammoth. We were talking about going into an ice age, and I was taught that as an elementary school student as a fact, not as a scientific theory. I was taught evolution was a fact. Whether you agree with it or not, it's not actually fact, it's a theory. These are theories. That's like, these are big things that you can't fully prove or disprove. I mean, it's so anyway, I do find the educational system tells you blanket statements. Your teacher tells you a blanket statement, and it acts like it's just the truth, you know? Just like I'm over here and I'm recording a YouTube video, a commentary. I'm not educated. I'm not like a teacher that says these are absolute facts. I'm always talking, in my opinion, my theory. In schools, you're taught as this is exactly how it is. You're not taught even about other world views. So when I was in high school, I was taught very specifically in Venezuela. I was in an international baccalaureate school, so I was in Escuela Campo Alegre. So it was an IB school. So that's like the diploma we were going for. That's the curriculum that we had. If you can look it up, see what it was. But basically, we were taught all the bad things about America. We were taught that the United States was horrible. We were taught really bad things about us, things that you don't get taught in usually U.S. schools. So but it was likely very biased against the United States at the same time as telling some actual factual things that are happening. So I'm aware, like, my education was very anti-American in some ways, that when I actually came back to the U.S., I had some viewpoints that I had to learn, unlearn, I guess. You know, I had some assumptions of things. In Venezuela, you know, they have assumptions of different countries around, and so you learn that as a youth, and you don't even realize that you're picking it up. So, anyway, I guess that was the university conversation. I really could talk for hours for every comment. Odie sounds fine. Oh, it's when YouTube changed the handles. You know, I was really glad that when YouTube changed the handles, whatever the system did, somehow I got my name, Producer Elena, which is my handle on like Twitter. It's my handle on Instagram. I do have it on TikTok. I've posted like 4 things on TikTok. Like, I will never go to TikTok unless I have to. So I do have one of those. Instagram, I mean, the last thing I posted, it was months and months ago. I think it was November. Maybe Christmas. Anyway, so it's all at Producer Elena, but I was really glad that I got that. So Theody, but I do wonder, like, THE, like, is it supposed to sound like something and I just missed it? Or is it just random? Because I always try to, like, sound it out, like, what am I, like, is this a riddle that I just don't get? You know, those words, like, 304, you know, the things that I feel like took me too long and I had to ask people, I feel like I miss a lot. Yeah, I miss it. But anyway, so UK, and then Dr. M69 is talking about how it's also a problem in the US, although he suspects it's worse in the UK because there's fewer legal protections for those who push back against the narrative. Is there? I have seen actually a lot of people going, like police coming at them for Twitter and social media posts and things. Kinsey, who does a lot of things on, like, she's American, she's from the United States, she's but she's living in the UK right now, and she does a lot of royal gossip and that sort of thing, you know, Meghan and Harry and that sort of content, but she will talk on, say, The Nerve. I like watching The Nerve with Maureen Callahan. She'll always be careful about what she's actually saying because she mentions that. So I don't think she's lying, obviously, because you see the news stories. So, like, how how much freedom do you feel like you have to say these things? That is a really good topic. I'm really interested in that, because you do wonder, like, what is it known what you can and can't say, or is it just like you are scared into silence to not say anything at this point? Is that how it is, or is it only a specific type of like group you can't say something about? I am fascinated about that. I don't. Best one, the Cinder Ace says, does Venezuela have their own language? Yes, it's Spanish. Oh, okay. Dr. M69 answered, yes, it's Spanish. Yeah, it's Spanish. Yeah, that's it. They do have, actually, like, you can go to Colonial Tovar. There's a lot of German speaking, and a Dutch. So there was a lot of Dutch there as well. So I know there's towns that only speak like German and Dutch and things. So, and those are more in the mountains. Very, very beautiful area. So, but the national, it's Espanol. It's Spanish. Okay. And then Thodi says, plus there's another certain problem that's happening, and I'm guessing he's hinting at something for, protection issues or whatever. So we understand that. And virtual hugs, thank you. Best one this and right. I can use a virtual hug. It's interesting how little, you realize, well, you don't realize, I guess, but like when people are doing chemotherapy, you can't hug them. That's like crazy to me. It's not recommended. So, when you're thinking about not hugging one of your loved ones for a long time, yeah, hugs are important. It's surprising. I don't think we hug enough. Just people. I think hugging is so nice. In Venezuela, we would kiss on the cheek, just like a side kiss, like not, like it was just like a cheek to cheek sort of thing. It wasn't a full on beso, and you just say that, and you do like a little side hug, but it was a much more, touchy, sort of interactive to strangers type of place than the United States. It was definitely interesting to come back to the US, and that's not how people greeted, because when you learn how to socially interact in a different country, just for these, like, those formative years of how you're trying to figure out how to become an adult, and your high school years, when I came back to the US, I was so cautious, because like people in Venezuela, you walk down the street and everyone's smiling and hello and hi and this and that, and in the US, when I came back, like, don't look people in the eye, they'll think you're like don't smile. Like, it was weird. In the South it's a lot nicer, and so I got used to the Southern, which is actually surprisingly the South, even though it's supposed to be super friendly here in the US, it's less friendly than Venezuela. I had to learn how to be less friendly, even coming to the South. But then I moved to New York, and I was like considered very overly friendly. So it's interesting, different regions, different places, and you do have to learn. And I think it's important to adjust in those ways to what people are comfortable with around you as you are assimilating. I think assimilation is important, culturally, just to learn, and as you're coming into other spaces, other regions that you're visiting, I think it's cool to learn how they do stuff, and that it's different. I think it's important to always remember how different even someone just like a state away is, and maybe sounds, because in the United States, or in like Italy, because I studied Italian for a long time, the dialect is so different, so you have to choose which dialect you're going to study, and when you speak it, and Spanish as well, I studied Spanish in school. I can't just conversational Spanish. I'm going to sound like some weird academia, like, bot, like, so you have to learn the conversational stuff. It's so interesting. Communication is very interesting. I love it very much. Okay, Adam Bailey, 2523, hi. Hi, Adam. I don't know if you're still here. I know most concurrent viewers don't have an hour or so to stay, but what's up, Adam? You probably sent that an hour ago, but hi. You say, social media, COVID, and dating apps destroy community and community values. I could agree with, those are very solid cause and effect things right there. I agree. Dr. M69, yeah, I'm not gonna yeah, I'm not gonna buy that Casey Anthony was just trying her best. Yeah, I mean, there are some parents who aren't, and that's important to understand. And from Cambridgeshire. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look it up because I visited Cambridge. Obviously, that's different than Cambridgeshire, so it's interesting. I'll look up and see where that is. My phone is being used as my camera. I am on a computer, but I don't want to leave this screen. I'm having enough trouble just keeping up, getting all the comments. So, I have a few years on you. I didn't realize that. Yes, I am 42. So Dr. M69 is younger than myself. Congratulations. Enjoy it. But yeah, I am 42. So I just turned 42 in March. So yay. You know, I am happy to be continuing to get older. It is a positive thing. The gray hairs, you know, the strips of gray, the one strip I have, it's actually been here for a decade, but you know, I'm proud of it. It means I'm still alive and I'm growing. Let's see. Why don't schools teach budgeting skills like paying bills, taxes, and key life skills? I agree. This is what Thrody says. I actually remember in school, I don't remember what group it was. Like, I guess it was I don't want to say like, oh, advanced group. It was like an additional group in your, like with elementary school. So it was like 4th or 5th grade, right? And you would have like an advanced group, I guess, for certain course. I don't know what, because you're so young, your parents are just putting you in places. You don't know what you're doing. I was put in advanced math in high school because I did a placement test and they skipped me doing basic algebra. I never learned algebra. I had to learn algebra while I was doing what's the one? Trig. I skipped it and I went straight to trigonometry. Imagine how poorly I did in math. I sucked at math. Why? Because I did a placement test and I could figure out some of the basic algebra just from like, just logic, reasoning, that they advanced placed me and skipped me out of learning things that I needed, the foundational blocks for my actual trigonometry. So I was failing trig. Eventually I figured it out and then I went into calculus and I aced calculus. Go figure. But that was a tough time. But again, I guess I did some placement tests. So they took like a group of students and they advanced us in like during this one study session. Maybe it was reading. I'm honestly not sure what class I skipped. Maybe it was math again. Like, it's clearly I struggled with math my whole life. And I remember they would send us to like these classes, and it would be a group of like 10 students, and we'd learn how to write checks. We learn how to create stores, and then we'd end up we ended up creating our own store, and we go into a mall. It was like a mall space or a hangar. I can't even remember now, but you know, like an expo sort of space, and they had little booths and things, and we would go in and we would have our stores. We would sell items and like to each other. Like, it was a whole bunch of elementary schools who did this, and like we learned how to balance our budgets, write checks. Like, I don't know if this was a weird experiment. I was in Texas at the time, so we can look into that at that age range, what they were doing. I thought this was like what you taught in school. That was the only time in my entire school system that I learned anything about money budgeting, like economics in a practical sense, even statistics or stuff in a practical sense, paying bills, taxes, all of that stuff. None of that was ever taught to me. Besides when I was in 4th grade or 5th grade and we did like a fake store thing. That's crazy. That's interesting. So that's a funny thought. The things that we think about randomly. I wonder what that program was. Dr. M69 says YouTube changing the handles gave him excuse to add 69 to my name. I wonder how many people, like, because it is finally your handle. So I assume most people just tried to change it to their other social media handle so it was consistent, but maybe that wasn't what everyone did. Noise. Adam Bailey says noise. And yeah, Theody is saying, yeah, it's pretty bad there. I was asking him about the UK and what you could or couldn't say if it's like really you're cautious about saying anything or even like agreeing with something, like thumbs upping things because of, you know, censorship, and you know, you could get in trouble for it. And he's agreeing that is a weird, that it's pretty bad right now. So if we think it's bad in the US, if we think it's bad, like it's clearly bad right now in the UK is what I've been hearing specifically on the news, and what people are saying. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Dr. M69 is talking about looking like they're more worried about policing speech than combating violent crime. I mean, it does seem there's a very confusing system everywhere right now. It's all a mess. It seems like the policies are not exactly matching what they're actually trained to do. I don't know about the UK, but just everywhere, in educational systems, and how do you, or in political systems, and how do you fix a structure that is just not doing what the rules are, you know? And I get that you just want to break it all down. I get all those things. So I understand the complicated nature of this and why many people are feeling stuck and feeling in wanting to revolt and all of that. So I'm not lost on that. Best when the Cinder Ace. Most people probably learn more on YouTube than our U.S. education system. You taught me the term alpha tech operators. I made that term up, but yeah, I did teach that term. I feel like I'm like all sniffly now. I get sniffly so easy. You'll notice this. I don't know if it's like a Texas thing, but since I came back to Texas, basically like a slight breeze, I'll get sniffles. So obviously I was tearing up earlier, and ever since then I've been feeling like stuffed up, and I feel like even my nose is all, like I'm all red just from like the brief moment of emotions. A brief moment you saw that I had a heart here. It does exist, guys. It does exist. I think I'm just a little maybe on the spectrum or something, a little more tough outer exterior sometimes. Not that tough. I'm open to the premise of this video. Trenton Cook 8452. I mean, thank you. Thank you. I mean, but really it is, this video is about self-centeredness, I guess, is what the start is. And so I did a little intro about it, and then I got like emotional at one point. Like it is just like, we are so self-centered, everybody. We have to stop it. We have to take us out of ourselves, and we have to put other people ahead in everything. When I start getting emotional, when I start getting my ego hit, I have to start thinking like, okay, there's a lot of stuff happening around me, and now I need to reassess how I'm handling this so that I can show up in my conversations with people as the type of person that I'd like to be, and as an open-minded person who is not just easily swayed, but also isn't just shutting you down because, yeah, obviously I probably won't agree with everything that someone coming on talking about their why victimhood is good and all that mentality, you know, like all of that I'm probably not ever going to agree with, I'm gonna say, but I don't want to just come across like I'm discounting the words that are coming out of your mouth and trying not to hear you. I want to hear what you're saying. It will likely be that I don't agree, but there could be that I listen and I'm just hearing, like I want to hear it, what you're saying, not what I think you're saying or what I'm emotional about at the moment. And that's something that every human does. We do that, and we project, and I it's detrimental as a personal, like like you can't be like that in life. The more you take yourself out of it, you stop letting yourself get offended. If you see you're offended, deal with your offense. Don't deal with the person who offended you. You cannot change other people. Even if that other person should change, you can't change them. Therapy, when you do couples therapy, you don't go to change the other person. You go to fix yourself, and hopefully they're going to fix themselves so you can fix the relationship together. You cannot change other people. So if you're offended, that is on you. Your grief is caused by your ego being offended. If you don't care about something, like a corpse doesn't care. You can kick them, you can, curse at them, you can call them names. They don't care. Like, they are not offended. It's like, if someone doesn't care about you, you can't offend them. If they don't care what your opinion is, you can't offend them. So the only reason you're getting offended is because, like, you want someone to agree with everything that you're saying. Now, again, I'm not saying the righteous anger. I'm not saying, so, there are reasons for righteous offense. But in general, in most conversations, we are constantly offended when we're watching these shorts, when we're watching these videos. You're watching my video, you're constantly offended. And instead of thinking, why am I getting offended at this stranger that doesn't even know me, who is likely not even talking to me because I don't even relate to what she's saying, I don't think I'm like that. Well, then they're probably talking to someone else. They're probably not talking about you. And if they are talking about you, then clearly you're not in agreement. So, like, why does that matter? It's when people have to have other people agree with them, and you can't just, it's one thing to say, hey, I disagree with you. Here's 5 reasons why I disagree with you, and all of them. And, it's well thought out, and I may not agree with all of those reasons, but I accept that you have these reasons, and we're going to say these reasons, and it might look like you're talking at someone when you're expressing your reasons and you just say you disagree. But that to me is not talking at each other. That's just not agreeing with what each other's saying, but putting out your valid defenses, and then everyone can kind of see and wrap their heads around these ideas, these concepts, these theories. And anyway, I don't know like where that was going, I guess the point of the video. So yeah, the self-centeredness source of all grief concept is what got me into this specific video topic, because I honestly think if we spent our time focusing on being out of offense, so if we're offended, fix what is offended in us. Like, why does that matter so much? Why does it care so much? If they're not right, then it shouldn't matter. Like, let's move on. If they're not harming you physically, you know what I mean? Like let's all move on. So you have to look at that, because you cannot change, and we spend so much time trying to change other people's behavior to avoid being offended. How about we lower our offense threshold? Gag reflexes are reflexes that can be trained. Same thing. Because I used to have a really bad gag reflex. Just even just a lump in my, I would feel so sick so easily. I don't have that anymore. It's like you can train yourself out of having these anxiety reactions to certain things. And so you can train yourself out of being as offended, your level of offense, and you can get stronger on that offense, but it will also help you be better at presenting arguments, because you're more calm, you're presenting them calmly. You don't come in insulting people. If you come in calling me names, and that's the reason, because I'm, either unintelligent or rude or just talking stereotypes. Well, you know what? Caricatures exist. Hippies, not every person was a hippie, but there is a caricature of a hippie. There's a caricature of a Stacy. There's a caricature of a Becky and of a Chad and of a Karen. And when you talk about it, you talk in extremes so that you can all understand the characters. I mean, but going into an immediate name calling someone a bigot or stupid or this or that, whatever you want, is immediately not an argument. It's just a low level offense signal. You've just told me that you're offended, and that's not effective, and I'm probably going to be a lot less interested in what you have to say and a lot less nice to you about it, because I don't coddle. If I see someone's offended, I will push. I push back on that offense. Because it's important. We need pushback. People want to bully you and then have you be like, oh, I don't want to be yelled at now, so I'm just not ever going to say another opinion that's different from the mass. No, you cannot bully me and call me names and tell me to shut up. Well, you can, but it's not going to make me shut up. And so that's when I have to work on, okay, my offense levels and different things. And YouTube's a great space. Social media is a great space to work on your levels of offense. The problem is that we use YouTube, we use social media, we use that to work on changing other people, work on getting angry and trying to fix everyone else's problems. We cannot do that. My videos are to have you watch it, say, I agree, I disagree, maybe I can adjust this. Let's make the world better. That is what my videos are for. That is what my channel is for. I want to make the world better. It started as a Bible study channel, just like I was told that I should start a channel. That's what one of my Bible people said. They said you should start a blog and a channel, talk to your story. So I was like, I have nothing to say. So I just started posting the Bible studies that I was doing, my Bible studies that I teach. And then randomly I started being well, maybe I'll just comment. The reason I didn't is because I was nervous, because I knew how when I say the comment in the wild, in the real world, I get bullied and I get treated poorly and I get ostracized and I don't have opportunities. So I have been quiet and I haven't said anything. But then I finally was like, you know what? I am fed up and I have to say something, because the quieter and quieter I am, the less and less I will be able to talk. The less opinions that are different I will be able to have. If you disagree with me, that's good. Don't just put it in my comments though. That's not helpful. Make your do videos, put your information out there. Doing an echo chamber in my comments, it's great for like my engagement, great. But that's not helping the world. Taking this, like not this video, but this idea, trying to figure out what you feel like could better the world, what you feel like your opinions are that maybe are different, just so that the opinions are out there, so people stop being so sensitive to hearing outside of their little echo chamber rooms. We have to start breaking the boundaries, like crossing these borders and getting these messages over to each other so we can hear. There are things happening on the left that I don't see in my algorithm that do matter, and I'm not seeing them. There are things that happen on the right that left people do not see that do matter. On both sides, we're doing it. We're stuck in these chambers and we have to get out of them. The algorithm that we're on there, my last video, it got 28 views. It got shown to like 400. It got 400 impressions. So that's not even really shown to 400. That might just be like it was on someone's screen, or like if you have a home screen and it's there, but another video's up, you still lost your click-through rate because that other video came before it and they clicked that one before, even if they were going to go in order. So those sort of things, but I don't know how I got into click-through rate. But anyway, you need to put that stuff out there, because the algorithm is not just showing everyone this stuff. It doesn't think anyone wants to hear my opinion, my, I guess, more conservative opinion, my maybe, less popular opinions, and it literally is suppressing it, and not in the sense like, oh, I'm gonna suppress this. It just doesn't agree that people with other opinions than the trend are worth showing anyone. That is a problem. It is not YouTube doing, it is an algorithm making choices based on what's popular, and the more people that say these less popular opinions that come out there, the algorithm is gonna start seeing, oh, these opinions are trending. These opinions are worth putting out there. And it's not just going to be extreme one and extreme other, because right now that's all we see is the people who are crazy extreme on both sides, and the news stories and the reaction clips, and I watch them too. But if we're not putting our own stuff out there, if we're not watching the stuff like this, the stuff without reaction videos, I'm not saying watch me, I'm saying watch someone who has an opinion that's different, support that, and then create your own so that we can show the algorithm that other things exist. I heard something recently and I really would like to remember who said it. It was a channel, it's a YouTube channel, but basically there's 250 files that need to be presented into an algorithm, whether it's on a website, whether it's on a database, so that the algorithm actually creates a permanent space in their database for it. You know that sometimes the algorithm has data that is inside their system, that is programmed inside. That is information the algorithm knows it doesn't pull from anywhere else. It is trained on this data. So you can train an algorithm with 250 pieces of the same data. All of a sudden it will create a saved spot. It doesn't just save anything. It won't save categories unless there is a large enough space for it to take up that energy and that usage. Right? So that's how the algorithm works. So you search for something, it just guesses every time. It pulls new things every time and pulls this one here, this one there. That's why you're seeing sporadic views and you're seeing weird execution, because there's limits in execution power. So once it hits that limit that it can execute this many tasks, it will start hallucinating by design. It can only do a certain amount of tasks at a certain time. So this is the algorithm that we are getting our media from now. We are being trained by it. So it is our job as operators, if you want to be, to train the algorithm, to show and to like and to categorize the topics that we also want to be shown to the world. And I mean, that is something you're probably hopefully going to be seeing. I think a lot more people are coming up, but that is something that that might be helpful for you on your website or anything, that 250 pieces of the same data. And I'll try to find it to figure out, like, so you can actually look into it and see exactly how to do this. This is how to get cataloged into the algorithm so that you will be pulled up first, so that you are the data that's trained in, versus just getting randomly luck of the draw slot machine pulled, which is what most of us are dealing with right now. So I don't know. I get into these, like, I do a lot of research on this. It's constantly changing, but it's important to understand how the algorithm is manipulating you, as well as how it's manipulating others and the world, and how it can be also manipulated, which right now, at this moment, it can be manipulated. It is quickly, over the last year, we would have been able to manipulate the crap out of it. Now it's slowly and slowly getting less easy to manipulate, so we really need to start doing it right now while humans still have a little more of that power. I do believe that we are quickly giving our power away to, mindless machines. It's, that's a whole conspiracy video. That's for later. Okay, so Dr. M69. Oh yeah, I am not going to say all those words, but yes, what Thody is hinting at, Theody, yeah, it's probably this stuff, and it's the stuff that, yes, we are seeing right now all over the news. At least in my algorithm, I am seeing it. I honestly don't know what everyone else is seeing, and that's something that is really important. Another aspect of selfishness that we have to understand: every single person has a different algorithm. It's catered kind of to them, but it's showing them a slightly different piece of reality. And we have to understand, like, I don't know if your algorithm, if what you're seeing in the news is anything close to what I'm seeing. And this is why when we share this stuff, it's fun to see certain creators that you watch and they like other creators, but I've been seeing it more and more and more, and I'm starting to worry that that's creating its own echo chamber of, like, creators loving other creators. It's like, great. And again, I'm okay with that, to want to showcase other, and it's fun to see everyone liking each other on this group, but you also don't want to only be in an echo chamber of people who only agree with you. It is why I do follow a few people and subscribe to a few people that constantly, I feel that offense. I feel like, oh, I'm annoyed. Swoop does it a lot. However, she does a very good job at telling her stories. Her narrative is very good. We just don't agree ideologically on some things, and I have to work, because I want to understand their point of view, her points of view, what she's experiencing, what her media is showing, and I think, and how she's interpreting it, because she has some really good, so she does Swoop and Swoop 2. So that's just someone I can specifically say I subscribe to that I do not agree with ideologically on pretty much anything. However, I love watching her channel. I think she does a great job. Even when I'm watching something I don't agree her interpretation on it, I enjoy hearing her thoughts on it. And I don't need to, I'm not following her to be agreed with, or I'm following for information, and I think that's really important. So, oh, Adam, you did see me. Adam says hello. So like an hour ago I told Adam hello and thought maybe he wasn't still here, but he did see that hello, so that's cool. You'll also notice, it's really funny, as my computer glitches, like, I don't know why it's specifically how this set up, but it's specifically, which eye is this? I don't think it's this eye. I think it's this eye. I have to, like, touch it and then see, like, what the screen does. It's on delay. But it seems to be only one eye that I notice is happening to. So that's why I'm waiting. Okay, it's not that. So it's not that eye, it's this eye. So this eye is the one that you'll see for some reason. It, like, does this weird glitch when I blink sometimes when it gets really hot and weird. Like, the phone gets really hot and, like, it like, does this weird glitch. And I see it on certain videos that I've been doing. I mean, I did record. I don't know if any of you know, if you can tell, I'm wearing the same sweater in all of my videos so far. I've done 5 of them posted, and Monday I'll post episode 6, and there's 8 videos, and then I have a 9th one I'll record. But you'll see I recorded 8 videos in one sitting. It was 8 hours. It was about 5 hours of talking, but it was an 8-hour sitting. I was exhausted, so you can see by episode 5, 6, 7, 8, like, I am doing this, like, I am in pain, like, I can't sit there anymore, and I'm trying to get the words out, but, like, I really wanted to get it all done in one sitting, which, you'll see that that one was a struggle. I was on the struggle bus for the last few episodes of that, and, as I'm editing them as I go, I'm like, oh, I wish I said that better. There are certain editing, like, that I just wish I had said better, but you know, I recorded it all in a 5, because you didn't want to come back and then there was so much repetition that kind of needed to happen for every episode to kind of be set up and be standalone but connect to each other, that it would have been really hard for me to know what I had or hadn't said if I separated them. So that's why I decided to do it in that way. I don't know if that's how I'll do it in the future, because I have some other series that I want to record. But yeah. Ohio and Trenton Cook is from Ohio. Oh, Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, we are doing the gray streak. I don't know. My sisters think I should like dye and like make it larger. It's larger. It's bigger than you can see here. I think it's because the lighting makes the rest of my hair look a little lighter, and so. But yeah, I don't know how clear it is to see, but yeah. It does look like I'm doing something to be cool and like a look, which that's just convenient. I didn't. I've never dyed my hair, for the record. I've done temporary dye, like at home, like in a box. That's the only time I've ever done, and it's all, you know, it washes out after some washes. But I've never actually dyed my hair yet in life. Never once. I have been at a salon. I've had my hair cut professionally before, when I was younger, and I felt like that was worth spending money on. I don't anymore. I think if you have hair that can look different, yeah, you can do that, and that's worth it. But like my hair, no matter how like I cut my hair on my own. I just cut it. I just chop it off. You might notice I've cut it recently. The last time I told you I was going to cut it, it was about like down to, you can't even see, but it was like down to here. And so I cut off like a good amount that I just basically chopped it off. It was before my nephew's birthday because it was just too long. And this is just me. But my hair, it's so straight and so plain. Like I could curl it and I could spend all night curling it and sit on it all night. It will, by like a few hours, be completely flat and look like this again. So I figure, you know, the people who do the blowouts, who spend all that money, it's because their hair stays that way. Or they think it's worth it for the 5 minutes. It does stay that way. But my hair will not stay like this. It's thin and straight. And there we go. Let's see. Theody. We have counties that are like the states that you have in America. Cambridge is the main city in Cambridge. Okay. So you live in a place. So, I mean, you were younger than me, so we wouldn't have been walking around. But yeah, so you live kind of in the area that I've actually visited in the UK. That's pretty cool. It's beautiful. So beautiful. It was a bit rainy. So is summer you're rainy? I remember it rained a lot, which wasn't the worst thing. It just, because it wasn't crazy hot. And in Texas, it's so hot, and rain is like muggy rain. So it wasn't like horrible in the same. I kind of thought maybe it was like how Seattle might be sometimes, but when it got sunny and there was like these willows over the pond, I mean, it was just so crazy. Like it was like a storybook. It was so pretty. It was really fun to see. Dr. M69, Hearts Tulsi. Trig would be brutal without a solid. Exactly. Hello. Exactly. Trig was hard for me. I did not learn out. I just think like placement tests are useful in some ways, but like maybe before a freshman is sent into an advanced trigonometry course. I was in an advanced mathematics course as a freshman. Instead of doing freshman algebra, I never learned the algebra, the high school algebra. I learned basic, you know, whatever math you learn in 4th grade, right? But like what you would learn in high school algebra, they were like, you got this. Move along. Yeah. That was it's a time when I realized that me being able to reason through things and figure stuff out worked against me. Because they felt like me being able to figure out this algebra formula just because I was thinking, like, I literally in my head was like, I have 3 apples here. Like, I'm moving the apples. Like, you know, like I'm doing visually, but just because, like, you should still teach them the concepts of algebra before you tell them, hey, you're really good at this, like, maybe, or even ask, have you done algebra before? Maybe you should, here's a book, read about what it even is, like, just learn something about it before you have to come and learn conceptual theories about how we use algebra in weird ways. Oh, trigonometry. Trigonometry was tough though. I just don't feel like everyone gets trigonometry. It's just not for everyone's brain. I really understood calculus though, so some brains just work very different. And I find that fascinating that I aced calculus and failed trig. I mean, they're obviously very different. It's just, it's interesting when you look at that. I always was really nervous about math as well. I never really liked. I was always really insecure about math. Another reason I think that is, do you remember, and maybe they still do this, teachers don't do this. Don't make your children, your students, go up to a whiteboard and it was a chalkboard at the time. Okay, yes, I will admit I was using chalkboards in my 4th grade, not whiteboards, but you don't go up to a chalkboard, you don't go up to the whiteboard and have them solve something in front of the whole class unless they really, really want to. Some kids like to do that. But when we had to do that, we would have the spelling things. You would have, and you would be in a line, and it would be one by one, and we'd have to do, and they'd race, and they'd be, oh my gosh, I'm getting stressed out just thinking about it. I feel like some of the ways they taught and the competitiveness of teaching and the timed teaching was so stressful for me. It actually, some people, their brain shuts down under stress. It's absolutely true. It does happen. And when I was my brain would shut down and I couldn't do it. And I would feel so stupid. And I still I could feel emotional about that. Teachers, don't put your children on the spot unless they want to be. Like, that's not a helpful thing. It's actually, it breeds insecurities that they will take into adulthood. As a 42-year-old talking about Miss Gilmore. She was my 4th grade math teacher. Was not a fan of Miss Gilmore. She made me not only fail math, but feel like I didn't, not like, I feel like everyone knew I was failing math. That was the type of, it's not good. I have issues with Miss Gilmore. I think teachers could really work on that. A lot of children feel a lot of performance anxiety. I have that. Which is odd because I do a YouTube channel. But I just find that, I have anxiety about it. I get shaky about it, but then I just do it anyways. Like, I feel like bravery and courage is doing stuff in spite of being afraid, in spite of having those reactions, not having them. Then you're not being courageous. Anyway. Okay. Let's see. Chris Moore made a funny American independence joke. So he said UK needs to throw their government out the way US did around 250 years ago. So that's just a 4th of July joke. That's funny. It's coming up, guys. I love America, and I hope you guys love your countries and want the best for your countries. I just think being a patriot of your country is a great thing, and I'm grateful for the United States and 250 years. I'm excited about it. I don't do anything on 4th of July. I've never really celebrated in a big way, besides not even a barbecue. I used to live in New York, and I would go up on the roof, and there would always be someone doing a barbecue, so they would always offer me their food. and you'd see the fireworks, but I never did any celebration. I think maybe that was my living outside of the US for a while. But I do really appreciate the US. So, but I don't, and I have a US hat. I'll show it to you. It's actually a Pimp and Joy hat. It's from the old show that I worked on. I have so many of them, crazy amounts. I don't think I have one in here, but here, let me grab one. Let me see my favorite hats. Okay, so this is our Pimp and Joy hats. This is from my old morning show. So this is, I have a bunch of them. So I have an America one that is red and white and blue, and I can wear that at some point. So see, it says, and this was actually a charity, a 501c3 that was made because Amy, the co-host, her mother was diagnosed with cancer. She did end up passing away, but we created this charity with the Pimp and Joy, and the reason is because Judy B. Pimp and Joy is how it started. Her name was Judy, and her Twitter tag was Judy B Pimp and Joy, and so we changed it, created hashtag Pimp and Joy, and raised, you know, money for that awareness. And that was like what that was. So I have a bunch of these, and this is my favorite hat. You can see it's so dirty, it's sun damaged, it's just gross, but this is my hat I wear all the time. It's like my favorite, and I do have America version. I have a big red one over there as well, but I have a red, white, and blue one that I'll try to wear in my celebration of our 250th birthday. Yes, thank you. Best won the Cinderace. Has a friendly reminder of drinking water because staying hydrated is important for your health. And I'm going to now take this moment to have something that is dehydrating. If you know, caffeine dehydrates you. But I do have water, it's just not in here. So, but yes, water is important. I think most people, not I think, like this is something that I've heard, most people, like in society, modern culture, are dehydrated. And it's not just drink some water, it's like you have to hydrate regularly for weeks to actually gain your body's hydration levels back. So you are dehydrated for weeks once you're like in a state of dehydration. And so basically what they're saying, scientists are saying that modern, you know, especially like Americans say, are in a permanent state of dehydration. It's affecting our skin, it's affecting our organs, it's affecting our health, and it's making us, because your brain functions on mostly water, so it's hurting our brains, it's hurting every part of our existence, because we're not drinking enough water. So thank you for that friendly reminder. I actually really need, it's something I really want to do, is to try to drink more water. If there's one health thing I want to do, and I consistently want to do it, it's always trying to drink more water. I feel the best when I'm weeks into my hydration, you know, and like really not getting dehydrated. So Chris Moore took calculus 3 times, hated it. Yeah, that's good. So Theody wants, he says, that's a good video idea, how to stop being offended. It's, you know, it's such a big topic because it's not super easy, but I will think about it, see if something comes up. Usually it's like, I get like a bam moment where it's like, okay, I think I have something to say about this, and then I just sort of say it right there. I feel like there's a lot of stuff ruminating around, like that series that I'm doing right now, this 8-part that's coming out, it's been like 8 or 9 months of ruminating in my head about it. So I wonder how long it will take for this rumination of how to stop being offended, this series, because it's definitely got to be a series of how that will come about. I'm really excited. I really like just how these, like the creative process in it. Yes, and let's see, I agree that we need to reach beyond the echo chamber more. It's becoming increasingly difficult when the left has shown that they are willing to, I'm not saying the word because of censorship issues, but for wrong opinion, you know, both sides are extreme, and I absolutely agree there is a violent streak happening for your opinions, and it does seem to be, it at one point seemed to be the opposite, you know, side was causing it. Now it seems to be the other side is causing it, and it's like it's not okay either way. So left on left violence, left on right violence, right on right violence, right on left violence, none of that is acceptable. And your opinions, not being able to deal with other people's opinions, having algorithms that stop you from hearing other people's opinions, these are the reasons why people cannot stand it. It causes more extreme offense and offensive behaviors because they see these people that actually might have a big group of people in their echo chamber as well, but they think that they're some evil anomaly. It is a detrimental system right now. It is ethically problematic at best, how to say nicely. I say a lot of things. It is a bioweapon. I do not believe that it is being regulated appropriately. Most people don't, and it is damaging and has already done irreparable damage to our world, to our brains, to our mind. It is the destruction of the modern world as we know it. It is up to us to make this last longer, so it doesn't have to be this century, but it could be 5 years. At this point, we are in a destruction, and we have ushered it in, and we have gone to a point that we can't turn back unless we pretty much just destroy it all. So, you know, and there are people who are so absorbed in the power in all of this that they're not going to let it go. So you have to understand that the good people in the world are not the people in charge. And they're not the people that you're all hearing about. The people who actually want the best for other people, they're not the major people in charge. It's never for your best interest, just in general. So again, these are broad generalizations. That's why when you see a leader that seems to have at least some level, because to be a leader, you do have some ego, you do have some extra confidence, you do have these certain skills that make you a little more stubborn. But when you see leaders that are feel like you actually do feel like are not pandering, that actually have some sort of moral compass, that's what we are looking for. Knowing specifically that the more leadership power a person gets, the easier and easier it will be to be corrupted. So you try to get people early on and have support groups around them that aren't just yes men. I mean, Hollywood, you saw it, like, who would have thought Hollywood would be destroyed? And it's completely a joke. Yeah, because they were surrounded by yes men. They didn't have enough people telling them no, that they didn't learn how to be better and to beat the competition, beat the hard parts, they literally just destroyed themselves. And that's what we are doing as society constantly. We are so self-centered. It's ridiculous. We are ruining ourselves from it. We are self-centered because we want everything to be easy, but we don't think about what we're losing with the ease. Like, how about we focus on the future? What have we just lost with this user-friendliness? Can we gain it back somewhere else? Because it matters that our kids still need to be educated and learn certain skills that even if we want them to be able to drive a car, we also want them to be able to change a tire. My dad made sure I knew how to change a tire. Now, I was not strong enough to lift a tire, but I know how to change it. So, there are those things about it, but I know that if I'm driving a car, you have your litter in the back. If you're in, an icy or snow area, you have certain things in your car, and you also know exactly how to change a tire, but you also make sure that you have your cash or this or that. Like, you have certain things because you're putting your dependency on this vehicle, on this machine, away from home, these things. So when you put your dependency on something, you do have to still protect yourself and learn, yeah, I'm putting my dependency on this machine, but if it broke, can I still do my job without it? And I feel like we're losing the people who can do their jobs without the dependency machines, and myself as well. So like, this is why I'm fighting for it. Okay. Let's see. We have, so I'm going to be wrapping up fairly soon, so I'm just going through the remainder comments. It looks like I have like 10 more just to get through. So, best one, the Cinder A says, is your one of goals to create quality videos and have the algorithm promote your videos? I would love to have the algorithm promote my videos in some ways, but sometimes it's easier because because my videos are polarizing. I'm stating theories and extreme things. So like, it's nice not to have it bombarded with a bunch of people hating on it. So when the algorithm doesn't show it to people, it gives me that ability to test and to gain that stronger skin. I think people who get big so fast, they don't grow. They don't learn how to be successful in a healthy way, but they also don't learn how to have thicker skin. They don't learn, if I grew like popular now, that would concern me, because what I'm doing now, I'm just figuring out. I'm doing fun little videos here and there. I created this series. I have no idea exactly what I'm doing in the future, but then I get millions of people and suddenly they expect me to always be doing this. What if I don't want to do this tomorrow? What if, so like, that's where I'm kind of okay with slower growth, with actual community building, where people purposefully, they may not see you schedule, because the subscribers, for the record, you have a subscriber, they're not seeing your stuff unless they go to the subscription feed. There is a 99% chance that your video will not be shown ever to them. That is, subscribers don't mean anything anymore. It makes a slightly higher chance that you'll see it. You may see it in your subscriber feed. That's about it. So, when you're getting, the viral videos, you're getting all that, you're not necessarily getting like a community of people who are going to come back and remember you. So because a subscriber means nothing, you need to rely on people remembering you and wanting to return. I have a handful of like 5 or 6 people that return. You guys are awesome. And, you know, then we'll have one more person come next week and one more person, and it'll slowly grow. But we'll be developing this, and we won't have to count on the algorithm to remind us that there's a community of people we may want to check in with every once in a while, you know? That's kind of my goal with this channel. So if you're asking what my goal is right this moment, that's what it seems to be gearing toward. On the bigger frame, just continuously putting my stuff out there and not allowing to be bullied into silence. I think that is the only way that I can fight the violence that I'm seeing for your opinions. I am putting myself out there in a way and saying opinions that other people have been hurt for. That can be scary, but at the same time, the more people that do it, the less, you know, incentive the other person has to bully you for it. You know, like, they can only bully you if you let them. The reason why the word bigot doesn't matter to anyone anymore unless they're over the age of 80 is because it's been desensitized. People have been called it so much, but they've been completely bullied into submission for that they've hit that threshold. You know, it's like, I'm not even worried about being bullied, or like, it means nothing to me. And we're desensitizing people in so many ways, in positive and negative ways. So to me, what we need to do is desensitize people to different opinions, especially the opinions that right now are being attacked. And I don't expect everyone to do that. I expect people to be afraid, and you can see why. So that's why I want to try to do it and try to not be afraid. And not back down. I may not agree with all of your comments, even if they're thoughtful comments. I will state my opinion again, not because I think your comment sucks, but because I want to be able to have us all comfortable establishing our beliefs, even if someone disagrees, with a valid disagreement. You know, because sometimes things seem valid and you do have to choose which pattern you're going to explore right now. Which one seems more valid? Are they mutually exclusive? Sometimes they can't exist together. And then you really have to make decisions on things. So anyway, gosh. Okay, so let's see. Dr. M69 asks a math problem. Chris Moore says it's 2, and I'm gonna say maybe that's right. Because I'm not going to try, because that will stress me out to no end. It's funny. So perhaps they're correct. And Dr. M69 says, if you have one bucket that holds 5 gallons and another bucket that holds 3 gallons, how many buckets do you have? Chris Moore 9997 says 2. And then Dr. M69 says he's the smartest man alive. And you know what's so interesting? Okay, Dr. M69 says, I used to think I was good at math. Now I have a PhD in math and realize that I am downright terrible at it. It is amazing. I love that you said that, because the more that I learn, the more I realize I know nothing. The more I do, the more I realize I have no information. There's so much information that I do not have. So I feel like the more expertise you get in one area, the more, like, you see the physicists, like the smartest people in the world, who basically acknowledge that the more they know, the more they realize they know absolutely nothing. And I think that's the most intelligent thing for a person to say. So well done, Dr. M69, for getting a mathematics PhD. I don't even know, like, that would have gotten me, but congratulations on that. And also, you know, just not accepting your PhD as the reason why you're smart. I believe that you're intelligent because it's not just an accolade, because you're realizing that there's even more that you need to learn and to do. And then obviously you must not be so terrible at it that you did get a PhD. So you do say you're terrible at it. I'm gonna acquiesce some of that, but for the layer that I'm trying to go with, which is the more you know, the more you realize you know nothing. However, you know, I would argue you probably aren't that terrible at math. That would be my guess. Most people don't get PhDs because they suck, even if they're not at the top of their class. You know, I wasn't at the top of my class, but okay. So do you have top chat on? Oh my gosh, you're right, I do. Okay. Okay, so Dr. M69 just made me realize that YouTube puts on this stupid top chat, which I hate. I hate top chat. Do not choose what is the top. Do not choose that for me, YouTube. Do not choose any of the top. I hate it. And they always default to that. Gosh, that really got me going. Every time it does it, and I have to change it every time. Every time. So thank you for pointing that out. Do not choose top comments. Do newest for me. Like, every time I put it there, like, why will it always go to, like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Especially when you're trying to keep up with comments. Like, I guess for me, I try to go in order, so yes, I've clearly missed I bet I've missed so many people's comments because I'm only getting the top chat. I'm glad you guys are top chat, that's great, but yeah, good to know. Dang. Sorry everybody if you're commenting and I'm literally just ignoring your comments, which does make a lot more sense why NebNeb44 made a comment earlier in like the last live and then was like, did you see it? Oh wait, that wasn't NebNeb. Was that NebNeb? Yeah, maybe it was NebNeb. It was someone. It was one of y'all, regulars, and I like didn't see it and then I had to resend it. Maybe it was Dr. M69. You can let me know. You probably remember. But I remember and then you had to repost it in, right? And that's why I couldn't find it, because I have top chat. And I can't change it now or I'm going to lose my place. But I am really sorry, guys, if I've ignored your comments. I did not know. I honestly didn't know. That's so frustrating. Oh, well. People that drink coffee live longer. I've heard some positive things about coffee. I don't drink coffee. I used to when I was young in Venezuela, because they would, you had a little cafeteria. It was very popular there, very Colombian coffee. And so, yeah, we would always have and you would have, I would just have black coffee with a lot of sugar. So it wasn't like black. But, people would do with leche and everything. But I just had black coffee with sugar, which, again, isn't really black. It's like excessive amount of sugar. But I was that person. You see the tropes of the girl who's like, I need a black coffee, and then like throws all the sugar in it. That was me. Yeah, I only like black coffee, as I put all my sugar in there. Okay, let's see. So how do we think we can reverse our self-destruction before it's too late? Is best when the Cinderace asked. I have to wrap this video up, but every time she asks, every time he asked this question that makes me want to go into like this big thing. The last one he asked was about relationships and having kids and those sort of things, and I was gonna go into that sort of concept. So this is another one. How can we reverse our self-destruction before it's too late? I mean, if you leave this message or this live with something, like, leave with that question, like, how can we fix this self-centeredness issue? Because I feel like that is what is destroying our world right now. Let's see. My nose is still so runny from crying earlier. It's like crazy. Ugh. Can you tell, like, my eyes have been watering the whole time? Even, like, my eyelashes are, like, sticking together. Oh, well. This is what happens. So, yeah, I think we need to talk about that as a whole. So, give me your ideas. How do we reverse our self-destructive, egotistical behavior? I mean, it's one by one. We have to actually have intent to not be so offended by people so easily, even when they say offensive things. People can say offensive things and it can be wrong, and you not be emotionally affected in a way that's going to affect your judgment or how you respond. We need to respond consistently even when we're in incendiary situations. I think that is what separates the higher IQ and lower IQ people, is your ability to control your impulses. We all have the impulses, most of us. I'm not going into sociopathy and all of that stuff, but most of us have these similar impulses, and we have the ability to control them, but it takes practice. It doesn't, it's not the first time that, oh, I've done it once and now it's done. It's constantly, for me, constantly, I have to pull down my offensive things. And this week, I noticed I was so offended because my emotional level was so high because of my family and friends stuff that's happening. I just felt like I was not bringing that grace to life, into my communication with the world, and that does matter to me. So that's why I wanted to address it, because that was what was on my mind. Yes, and Dr. M69 does mention we don't know a way out except for maybe moving to the Amish country, because we are being forced to become dependent on the tech, and I absolutely agree, and I've thought about that, like, do we just like go offline and go into the forest and start over? And would that maybe be better? Would we actually be like a better people? Knowing the information we have, possibly having some access. You know, if you've ever seen the movie The Village, M. Night Shyamalan, very different concept, but the concept of a place that's super isolated. I don't agree with the, you know, manipulating and lying to everyone, but where you all have chosen to leave, and the Amish people are aware technology exists, they even have phones, you know, there are certain aspects, but they're still keeping their life. So like The Village did that. They were in like a national park, and they were like living in the old days, but it was like our current modern day time. And when they were going on the quest to try to get the special magical medicine that's going to help save this person, because there's only a few elders left and all of that, you know, they were just trying to get like penicillin, like medicine from the pharmacy, you know, but it was like this quest. So I'm not saying like let's go that extreme, but there is something to be possibly said about going off grid, not completely disconnecting with the world, because I do think information, but really not having that dependence, living your life separately, and then going into your computer, you know, coffee house. We've talked about this before. What's it called? Internet coffee shop? Internet shop? Internet coffee house? Why can I never say that? I lived in the age that this existed and was popular. I mean, I was little, but I was watching TV, and everyone went to the computer cyber cafe. Cyber cafe! We did it! So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and we do, Adam Bailey 2523, we do have to push back against those who want to silence us. And that's kind of what this channel is, not because I'm the smartest, brightest crayon in the box, but I, you know, have something, so I have some ideas, and I know that they're different than other people, so I figure it's worth us all putting our thoughts out there to try to counter some of this stuff. Okay, Dr. M69 fears the day we will reach around 15 active chatters because the stream will last all weekend. It is true. I don't know how. I'm gonna have to possibly, because the way that my brain works and how my heart and my life works, like, just, I want to go one by one by one. I know that's not possible. I can't even do it on my comments anymore on the other videos, and, you know, I lose track, so I will have to just accept I can't read everyone's comments. It's just like my heart hurts about it, because you guys spent time to like write words to me, and like I want to read them, and I want to acknowledge them, and like share it with the world, because I feel like that's again, we're trying to get opinions out, not just mine, although this is me talking. Yes, all the meaningless words that are thrown out there, that have been thrown out there for the last 10 years, Dr. M69 mentioned a lot of them. The bar has been set low. Like, basically, yeah, we all fit these labels at this point, so we're all just, we've accepted them. They mean nothing. I really find that desensitization is a huge issue on a lot of things, as far as what they're trying to do, with things like intimacy and intimate things that we're seeing, lustful things that we're seeing, inappropriate, you know, things that you might not, like, you can allude to someone doing something, you don't have to see everything, you know, those sort of things. It's on purpose to desensitize us. It's to sexualize everyone. It's disgusting, and it's not necessary. To tell a story, it's specifically to desensitize, and we're seeing that with everything. Every subversive concept is being tried to be thrown at you right now to desensitize you. I feel like that the algorithm is doing that because it's a rage bait thing, but someone had to train the algorithm to do that. So, and I mean, the algorithm now it's AI, but the algorithm used to be elites. It used to be Hollywood. It used to be what was trend, what was in the marketing, where the money was. So, you know, we've always had the algorithm. It's just now it's like this code system, you know, but there's always been someone handling and managing and routing the information that we see. Now we're just people that think that we have all the information in the world, and we're not realizing that we are completely being siloed off from it. You cannot Google something. I don't use Google because you can't Google it and get a real answer. You get AI, and you just saw in Germany, they basically said that that Google is liable legally for its answers. Because Google was trying to say, oh, AI doesn't actually, like, we don't write the answers, they propagate them from other information, and so we are not liable for misinformation or hallucinations. Nope. In Germany, they said that your system develops this information. Many of it is not even on the websites that it's linking to. It's lying. It is propagating its own information, its own words, its own sentences. It is misrepresenting the links. It is nothing to do with the links. It is not a third-party service. You are liable. And those are the steps that we have to take. That is a liability, and it should be a liability. I think the algorithms should be liable for the siloing that's happening. These things, the company should be liable for the empathetic language that they have trained the algorithm to use to get us to engage for longer. That is manipulation. It is unethical at best. There's a moral implication here. And what it is, why are you training a machine to literally lie? If a machine has no sentient ability, then it cannot say I'm sorry. And when you have a machine say I'm sorry, you are literally, that's a lie. That is gaslighting. That's a lie. That should be an illegal thing immediately. So right now I'm really interested to see where all this is going. Things are getting cracked down. I know Claude, the big, not all of Anthropic, but the big one, I can't remember what it was called, but the biggest, most best security server, that's been shut down worldwide, which you do wonder. It's okay, I get the jailbreak was really easy. Maybe we don't have that easy of a jailbreak, but at the same time, how do you have a service that identifies every flaw in your code, every security breach in your code, and to fix the code, not actually be able to be used by a bad person to manipulate and then create a different code based on those to then, break your code? Do you see what I see? But that, I don't know how you can have one without the other, because humans with bad intentions exist, and you cannot control that intention. We can barely control an intention of a machine we've built, let alone the humans who are using the machines. So what does that say? Do we just shut down all of AI? Because cybersecurity can now identify every flaw in a system, and that can actually be used to create programs that attack the systems that it just had, so it's a weird, which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of, it's a weird question. It's complicated. I find it, again, this is a very interesting thing. Okay, so yeah, Dr. M69, yes, I think that was you last week with the missing comment, correct then. Yes, because it was talking about the Green Day album, the Dookie album. And I had missed it because I was on Top Chat, which I still am, because there's only a few left. There's only a few left. I'm trying to finish this within 2 hours, guys. Okay, yeah, I think that was me last week. Okay, Rear Admiral Tutu, welcome back. Self-destruction is the result of an empathy-less and selfish people. I absolutely agree, thank you. It is our self-destruction that will cause the change, sadly. Yeah. Self-destruction is part of the process. You see it with every society. It is, and that's where we're already in a decadence, right? People think decadence is great. No, we've hit the peak. We're in the decay. Can we make the decay a little slower, a little less painful is my question. That's my goal. Because we have to kind of destroy it all in a way to remove the selfishness. But I don't feel like that's helpful just to destroy every working system. Some people, right now, what they want us to do is distrust every system so that they have a reason to collapse it and take over and build their like socialist system that they want, where they're in charge. They want us to only never have meat and be happy, I think is like what Klaus Schwab said. I mean, he said it like it was actually a lot scarier, but basically you will be trained to work and to eat what we tell you, and you'll be happy doing it. Like it was like you'll be forced to be happy just accepting what we give you. While we eat real meat, you're going to eat, processed, bio-created fake meat, the plant-based meat, whatever, like and you're not going to be as healthy. I mean, these are the things that you see them actually saying, and so you wonder if they're willing to say this out loud in public. What are they not saying in private? When they say that their systems have made Jesus obsolete, I don't care who you believe in. Don't say that you've made any religious God obsolete. That's not even the same thing. Like, your ability to make a human last longer doesn't discount a religion or spirituality. Like, they're not the same thing. Like, these people who think that natural is all it is, whether you agree with ghosts, whether you agree, like, there is a spirit world. There is things happening that we do not see, and the people who act like you can just take over and you're in charge because, yeah, you can live forever. Yeah, like, living forever that's not your sign of godness, especially like mentally live. Like, what does that even mean? Like, your soul isn't like a machine, and so your soul actually can't sentiently continue to exist. There is no mechanics for that. So again, like, what aspect of it is living forever? The ego, the concept of it? Like, are you going to live in a robot body? Fine, but that doesn't make you like God above any other religion's God, or make you live forever. It doesn't do anything. Like, so to me, like, it's so unintelligent to even say that. That's not even a correlation. And I'm not opposed to science. I'm not opposed to doing these certain aspects of things, but when you say that and that's who's like in charge, you have to question pretty much everything that comes out of them. The root is evil. The fruit will be evil. The root is bad and doesn't care about the world and just cares about them being the ones who eat the meat. And I'm saying meat, but he said the word meat, but it was meant as implying, the riches, the good things, and you'll just get, the cardboard, rat poo that we put in all your food, which is what you're hearing is in all of our food. Oh well. Okay, so internet cafe, thank you. I don't know why that is so hard for me to remember the cafe, like, it's the cafe part. Like, I keep saying cyber coffee shop, internet coffee shop, but it's cafe. I don't know why the cafe is the issue. I guess it's because I don't drink cafe. I don't go to coffee shops to drink coffee. I don't even really drink tea. I do sometimes. My mom really likes tea. Okay, so hopefully we have an option for voice to text chat that might help keep up with chat. I mean, yeah, I don't know how to keep up. That's why you have moderators and stuff. Like, I'm usually the one on other people, like my clients' chats. Like, I'm the one like moderating and highlighting comments so that they can like kind of keep up with things. And I'm commenting back on people where they're talking. It's really hard on a one-man show. You always see people who are like, my growing team. You see these video, and I know people like roll their eyes like, oh, why do they need a team? I mean, there's a lot of engagement and things that we'd like to do. And a lot of things that you can't do. I mean, it is a process. So one of those things would be moderating. Hopefully, okay, so we built AI and has no problem lying to it. I know, it's like crazy. Adam Bailey is just talking about the irony of just the absolute lyingness of this system that they programmed to do it, knowing it was going to do it, and knowing it was going to do it to them. Like, how smart is this? But I mean, there's lots of smart people in there. I'm not saying these people aren't intelligent, but they're lacking a form of intelligence, or they're just so egotistical or so in this, like, wannabe God space that they are actually making themselves make weird destructive decisions, not just for the world but for themselves. But also remember that there are rumors and some proof of different places of like having these spaces where, yeah, they believe that all these things are going extinct. They're trying to extinct things, but they have like a lab where they have the real plants. They have all the pieces like the DNA and the actual existing plants that are all going extinct, the things that are going extinct, the books that are being rewritten in your Kindle, they have the real versions. They have the real religious documents of all, whatever your religion is, all of those have been changed, but they have the real ones in the vaults. These are the things that are happening behind the scenes. They're saving the real information. They're saving the first chip that was ever made for the computer. They're saving the first computer. They're saving this stuff because they know it will be destroyed, and they will be the people that have the resources then. They want it all to be destroyed so that they can build the one world system. I mean, this is what they call it, okay? So this is not even a religious end of days concept, although they're using religious terms, but it's the new world, the one world system. That's what they want to build. And we all know that can't work. The cultures we need to have boundaries. Our countries need to have boundaries. Our cultures are very different, and we want to respect our cultures, and we want to respect our civilizations, and we want to be able to interact with each other, but we want to live in our spaces. I mean, that's how the world will be safe. We cannot be a one world order. That means eventually there's one leader only. Never trust humans to be the only person in charge, like just the one. No, you need to have checks and balances, because humans, we are so selfish and so evil inherently. People who say, like humanistic people, it bothers me to no end, who say that humans are inherently good, just do not understand humanity. Have you seen a child? That child is selfish. Babies are selfish. Yeah, they're cute, luckily, but they don't care how tired you are. They don't care that the mom just did all the work and now, she wants to sleep for a few hours before she has to get up and go to work again. No, they don't care about any of this stuff. They just cry. They say, wow, I want food. I want this. I want that. And they will do that until you teach them, obviously as a baby, they need help, but like as a toddler, as this, as that, they don't get less selfish. They continue. You have to teach them. Have you tried to have a toddler in the state where they haven't conceptually developed the brain power to understand sharing that concept? Because that is a concept. Every time you show this to another child, I was at my nephew's birthday. These are 2-year-olds everywhere. You give one child a gift, the other child comes and takes it. You give you're like, okay, enjoy that. You give the child that just lost its toy another toy. That same child will come and get. They don't understand. You have to teach them to share. We are not inherently sharers. We are not inherently good just because you have the conscience in our egos, our selfishness will overrun our consciousness. Consciences, possibly, Freudian slip, consciences every time. If you look, weeds grow faster than healthy plants. Weeds will grow faster in your mind, in your life, than any healthy fruit. When people say, I want to go in that group because I want to make them better, I want to be a good influence on them, more than likely, you will be negatively influenced. It's much harder to positively influence a group than it is to negatively influence a group. It is a natural thing. So when you deal with human society, we're seeing the same things. And we have elites, we have leaders that do take advantage of that. And we have systems that allow it. And we also have systems right now that are allowing people to come on and be like, hello, I have a different opinion. And that's why we really need to capitalize on right now, because right now, every month, we are having less and less visibility. We have less and less ability to break through right now. You are watching our connection with the world and our information being able to connect with the world, our views being able diminish rapidly week to week to week. You can see it with just trying to search something on the internet, trying to search something on YouTube. Try to find a video on YouTube that you're actually specifically looking for an exact video. You will have trouble finding it. Their search system is absolute crap. Most searches are, because they use algorithm and they don't care about intent or queries. They just care about guessing what you might mean. If you're a search and I type it in, don't guess what I might mean. Sorry if I made a typo. There's levels of queries that can say, oh, well, you said a plural version or a slight typo version, and they can still come up. And so I do appreciate that concept, but that's not what the algorithm is doing, and we cannot let it lie to us. We do not have SEO anymore. Websites do not get clicked anymore. When was the last website you clicked on when you went to Google? Or did you just read the little AI overview, and even you looked at the websites that it referenced on the side, read their little blurbs, the little blocks, but you didn't click in them probably. And I'm saying that accusing you, like, I'm just saying because I don't go to Google because I don't like the system that they're training me into. I have been purposely trying to use a different system, a query system that actually listens to the words that are coming, that I'm typing, that actually tries to match what I'm saying with the intent of the user intent, which matters, because psychologically it is extremely damaging to consistently type in anything or talk to someone who literally ignores your words every time and will not respond to you accurately or respond to the words you're saying, and sometimes will just repeat itself over and over regardless of how you type your question. That is mentally, psychologically damaging. It's a psychological bioweapon. This is psychological terrorism, and it needs to be dealt with. I don't think AI just needs to be, like I told you, what do you do? But these are the things that I know some people are talking about, but it's not the major conversation. The conversation is AI is taking our jobs. Well, I'm sorry, if AI is going to take your job, and it actually is going to do the job well, maybe you need to get a different job, because AI is bad right now. So when AI is taking, like, these aren't companies that you're going to really, maybe they're not companies that will last. If an AI in a company is fully replacing human jobs and your job was replaced, that maybe that your job was not useful in that company, or maybe that company now will realize that your job was useful. You see, and then they have to, because they think AI is smart, because I feel like some of the major top people have bought into these weird, they've bought their own hype. Do you know, if you lie about something long enough, you believe yourself? I feel like that's where they are with some of it, where now you're watching them backtrack, because not only do they see the backlash, they also are seeing that the more and more AI is learning these algorithms, the worse and worse they're getting. Every iteration is actually measurably worse, and they're seeing that, and there's nothing they can do to fix it at this point with the programs they're using. I mean, I'm hoping someone's got something working that's going to be better. But I could go really far into AI, but let's see. Big Fat Cloud 45, welcome. He has been watching since the beginning. I hope you're well. He has a channel. I know he got 1,000 followers before I did. I remember he was working on it, and he does funny things. So that's Big Fat Cloud 45. You guys are interested. He does some comedic stuff. Yes, extort. Adam Bailey mentions AI recently did try to extort its programs. It's done some weird stuff, and that's a full fun. That would be when it would be worth playing videos and different things, to actually find these stories and stuff about what AI was doing. That might be worth it. It's a different type of video, but I'd be really interested in just to see some of the things that AI is doing, just to really showcase it all in one place, and I'm sure someone's done that already, so I'll look for that, because I bet those are really interesting. Yes, Soylent Green, Chris Moore. Oh my gosh, everyone needs to go and watch that movie again nowadays. It's creepy. It is creepy watching this nowadays, and you watch, and you feel like you've watched basically a history lesson of what has been done and what is being done. It's actually pretty crazy. Okay? Yes, and having another person help is a great idea. I would love that. That would be great. So maybe at some point I will make one of you guys my moderators. I know we can do that, so we'll see. Yeah, scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they didn't stop to think if they should. Yes, exactly. That was, who is that? Is that Jurassic Park, Adam? Is that a Jurassic Park? Or am I just remembering that from something? I feel like that was a Jurassic Park line, Goldblum, Jeff Goldblum or someone said it. 250K victims. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I'm not saying out loud just because I don't know YouTube's rules on that, and I'll have to look into what I can and can't say specifically for it to kill my channel or whatever. Cut my channel. I guess I'm not supposed to say that word either on a live my channel. I don't know. I don't know. YouTube has some weird rules, so if I haven't like explored that topic before, I will read the community guidelines and self-report my videos as like all the time, and I read word for word all of these policies, but I have not gotten deep into that, so I do wonder, and like how that would affect y'all if I say something, or like would this affect you if I'm encouraging you to say something. I don't want you to be in trouble in your country, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to encourage you to say something that you shouldn't, and I don't want to speak out stuff that you're, you know, and act like you're saying something that you shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. Not what I'm saying. Not mean. I'm not speaking well, but I'm trying to go through the last comments. I need a device that shocks me after 5 minutes. It really, no, see, we used to have a shock collar at our, okay, this is not a torture thing, but it was, you know, the dog shock collar, and we would, at my old radio show, and we would put it on our arms, and we would have to do trivia, and when you have the shock collar on your arm, you do pretty well until the first shock, because it was on like a pretty high level, and you know, some of them, they like Ray, he would have to get it on his neck a whole lot. That was always crazy. But you know, the girls, like we would just have it on our arm, and you would do the shock, and like if you got the question wrong, and then the more you got, they would turn the power up, or they do it for longer seconds. And I just, you know, the dog shock collars, but I remember it really did cause you to, but yeah, I just need someone out there, like I'll have a collar, and they just do just a little zap, just a quick zap. This will get me back on track. Let's see. And yes, everyone agrees with Dr. M69's shocking device concept. So yeah, I'll look into that for everybody. We'll look into that. Right? Exactly. I mean, they really do ask some weird things. So yes, it is Jurassic Park. Bam! See, this is my old movie knowledge. I don't watch new movies as much. Yes, of course. No, like, okay, so best when the Cinderace asked if I self-report. It's basically if you're monetized, which my channel is, somehow, basically every video you have to like say, it gives you this list of like 15 categories, and it will, like, you click in one and then it'll be like low, medium, high. So if you said anything about women, you have to press that, even the low level, that you have said some hateful things or disparaging comments about women that someone might be offended by or harassing, or any minority groups or any protected groups, those sort of things. And obviously, you know, I do that a lot. I talk about women a lot, so yeah, I have to check the buttons. I always do the low. I mean, I don't go crazy on here, but I do check when I say, you know, comments about groups that, like, I have a video that comments on DEI. I did report that in that thing, and they have my channel on a higher value level as far as it accepts my self-reporting, because I do it so accurately. It trusts that I'm going to accurately say if my video could have something that could offend someone or not. So, you know, I do that, and yeah, could they be suppressing my stuff for that? Sure. I see a lot other videos that I'm sure are flagged by the system itself, that they show to people. So I don't think they care so much. It's more just their monetization system. So that's why I say self-report. It's not the same as like saying flagging my channel. No, it's just making it so I'm being completely transparent about what I believe YouTube could see as possibly offensive, or on the cusp of offensive content, so that then, you know, they don't flag me as someone that's untrustworthy for advertisers or for showing anyone, etc. So that's what I mean by self-reporting. Yeah, so okay. Anyway, and yes, trivia questions to his dog. Really, I don't watch him, so I'm not even sure. I've heard stuff, but yeah, I don't even know what, like, I've never even watched like one video, other than what Asmongold has been talking about, and I sometimes will watch a few of those, but I usually skip those videos anyways. I don't know, there's certain groups that I tend to skip. Okay, so we did it. We did our top chat, which I'm actually super annoyed that I didn't just check live chat, but okay. I feel like I had few enough people in here now that the top chat doesn't affect the same, but I really would have preferred that. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys coming. The like people that are here the whole time. Was it a dark joke? Yeah. Um, yeah. Probably. Oh, did he? I didn't know that. See, so you were making a dark joke, and I see this is when I need to keep up on current events. Is he an unpleasant guy? I've heard it. Again, I'm not. I don't know why. It's something I guess the algorithm hasn't tried to show me anything. So the only time I've actually heard of him is recently on like Pierce Morgan and Asmongold's channel. So I know nothing about them except for kind of what the legal stuff that's going on. That is a very interesting. It's always interesting to see these. I mean, he's very popular, right? Like millions of. So I don't really understand. Wine socialist through and through. Huh. Okay. Well, thank you guys for hanging out. I do try to do like a 2 hour to give everyone a chance who has lives to come on and talk. Some of you have stayed like the whole time, and I am so excited for this because I really hope that you guys are enjoying how it's happening, and hopefully you're enjoying the live chat. I really tried today to focus on the chat. I think I'm getting better. I think next week I'm gonna actually try to do the chat setup so that I can actually show you guys on the screen who I'm talking to. I think that will really help the user like viewing enjoyment, hopefully. But yes, thank you. Stay strong, be safe. Everyone be safe. My cat is trying to get in the room, so I'm going to awkwardly press end as I smile. Bye, guys. Bye. I have to actually press 2 buttons, so I say bye and then I have to look back down, so this is longer.